There are several settings by which you can customize the way that Slippity works here. So you'll see there's a little settings icon right here, and opening this, there's a variety of things. You can see that you can adjust the size of the thumbnail display in your grid. If you're in portrait mode, you can put the viewer on the bottom to easier access the controls with your thumbs. Stage display, this is a feature that allows when you're in full screen on either landscape mode on an iPhone or by expanding the viewer on an iPad, you can view a plain text display of your content. So here, for example, screen display enabled. We see a little preview of what's showing on our external monitor. If I pinch to zoom on the viewer to go full screen, you can see that now we have a kind of a plain text rendering of the current and the next slide. And we can still navigate through by tapping on these. So this may be helpful if you're looking for like lyric cues for the next slide or whatever, but you still want to have the full color display on your external screen. So that is stage display. Also in here you can see we have transition durations in seconds for both the foreground and the background, keeping in mind that the foreground and backgrounds are triggered independently on here. Auto advanced videos, this lets, if you have a foreground video playing, whether it's a YouTube video or an imported video, this enabled by default will allow when the video gets to the end, it will automatically advance to the next slide rather than just stay on a still frame of the video of the last frame. Fit text to slides. This is if, say you're trying to downscale, you're importing scripture and maybe it's longer than what would normally fit on an individual slide. This will scale the text down so that it fits. It might get tiny depending on how much text you have in there, but at least it'll all be in there. Loop background videos. So by default, if you import a background video, and we'll talk about how to do that in another video, but by default, this will keep the background videos looping. And then of course, stretch media to fit. This is for background elements, videos or images that are imported. By default, they scale to fit full screen in your 16:9 ratio. Enabling this stretches it, so you can warp the image basically to fit in there as well. We'll go through a few of these other settings a little more in depth in the advanced section. But media library, this is where you can take a look at all of your currently imported media, those that are assigned to foreground or background elements. So for example, right now I have these videos. I'm going to select one of these. So I want to designate this as a background element. So here I'm going to switch this to background. You can also add a video as a foreground element or image from within here. You can delete if you need to save some space on things. And so I'm going to close this, and now you'll see that if I go into the background tab, I have this element has been set as a background. In here you can also see which of your imported media elements are the largest files. So if you're running low on space on your device, you can remove them there. You can also add new elements to your media library from here. Elements that are added from editing a song or presentation will automatically appear in here as well. So that's media library. In search, these are the results that will come up when you search. You can decide what you want to have available in there. For example, if you don't need scripture references to be pulled up when you search, you can disable Bible. These can also be rearranged if you would like the results to appear in a different order when you search. And then under advanced, we'll come back to how to set up YouTube search. It can be a little tricky, but that's a little bit about search options. So for the rest of these, check out some of the other videos, but just wanted to give you a quick overview as to the settings in Slippity.